Donald Trump is requesting that a New York appeals court continue to suspend the gag order against him in his civil fraud trial. He argues that the threats made against the judge and his law clerk should not be used as a reason to limit his constitutional right to defend himself. Last week, lawyers representing the New York Attorney General's office and the court urged the appeals court to reinstate the gag order due to serious and credible threats that have been directed towards Judge Arthur Engoron's chambers since the trial began in October. In a filing on Monday, Trump's attorneys stated that the former president has never threatened the judge or his principal law clerk, and therefore should not be held responsible for the actions of others. They emphasized that Trump's First Amendment right to criticize and express his perception of bias by the judge and his law clerk is crucial for maintaining public confidence in the trial. While acknowledging the need for appropriate security measures in response to the disturbing behavior of anonymous third-party actors, Trump's attorneys argued that this does not justify the complete abrogation of their First Amendment rights. They believe that the trial, which holds immense stakes for Trump, has already been compromised by partisan bias on the bench. This filing comes after hundreds of harassing messages against Judge Engoron and his law clerk were made public last week. The law clerk has been receiving a high volume of calls and messages on a daily basis, both on her personal cell phone and through social media platforms and personal email addresses. Earlier this month, a New York appeals court judge temporarily lifted the gag order imposed on Trump and his attorneys, allowing them to make public statements about the judge's staff, particularly the principal law clerk with whom he consults. Trump and his lawyers have alleged that the law clerk is biased against him based on her political donations to organizations supporting the New York Attorney General, who filed the lawsuit against Trump. They claim that she is effectively co-judging the case due to her frequent consultations with the judge. The appeals court judge decided to lift the gag order to allow a larger panel of judges to consider the constitutional issues involved. Last week, lawyers representing the judge urged the appeals court to reinstate the gag order, citing an increase in the number of messages received by the law clerk since the order was lifted on November 16. They also noted that approximately half of the harassing messages were anti-Semitic in nature. Trump's attorneys maintain that Trump cannot be held responsible for the offensive comments made by others. They made it clear to the appeals court that neither Trump nor his counsel have ever made any statements regarding the law clerk's religion, appearance, or private activities.